Welcome to the Horsemen June Invitational, which is a GMC Cyclone, and the theme is my old man's truck. Now you can see that Hot Wheels did a very nice casting with this. This one's all black, but it has the taillights and everything, but we're going to make some changes to that. Name of the game is Make It Your Own. So we're going to get started with it, and we're going to get it drilled apart and tapped so that we can put it back together. So here we have it. I've drilled it apart. There's the actual casting. Again, I still have to tap it, but that'll go into stripper. There's the windscreen. The interior, which is nice, but just kind of a dull gray. And I like those wheels. I think I'm going to keep them the way there is. And there's the plastic base. So that's what we're going to be working with. And of course, I'm going to make this something that my daddy would like. So we'll get it in stripper. And then we will prep it up for paint. So here we go. So now I got some 320 grit sandpaper that I am using to kind of bring it up to a mirror shine, and you can take it all the way up to 2000 grit and then polish it up. I'm not going to need to go that far with it, but it will be pretty shiny. I'm going to probably use this metal cast, which is close to something like a Spectra Flame, but it does come in a rattle can. So that's what I'm prepping it up for. I like the fact that the bed has a tonneau cover on it. I think that's neat, and it does have the flares on the fenders itself, the wheel well areas. Like I said, I really like this casting. You just go and take your time and take it up to whatever level you need to. If it's just going to be a regular coating, main thing is to get any imperfections out of it and make sure that it is sanded so that the top coat will adhere. Of course, you would use primer. I'm not going to have to use primer because I'm going with this metal cast. So here we are in the spray booth, and you'll see I'm going with this deep purple. It's a beautiful color. If anybody knows anything about Louisiana, you know where I'm going with this. My dad was a huge LSU fan, although he wanted to disown me because I was a Florida Gators fan since I was a little girl. But he couldn't do that. We just banter back and forth about who had the better team. Now, we did agree on the pro football, Saints fans all the way. Although sometimes we was the ain'ts. But as you can see, this is going on beautiful, beautiful deep purple. Just take your time, whether you're using an airbrush or a spray can or a rattle can. But there you see it, shiny as can be. I'm going back with the yellow pin striping. I've got one side on. Again, this pin striping that I use is very forgiving. It has various widths. You use your helping hands and go ahead and lay that out correctly. Make sure you got it lined up. If in fact you don't, you can peel it back and make adjustments. It doesn't really affect the paint. Now, I do let my paint dry for a couple of days because I don't want that situation where, I stick something on it and it peels it up. But what I'm going to do is get this other stripe on. And my plan is to come back with a large bold stripe going across the cab and the hood. I'm not going to put anything on the tonneau. But again, as you can see, I'm lining it up. It takes the curves of the truck really well. Again, just take your time. You can see that I actually put the yellow stripe across the cab, and now I'm going to take one of my X-Acto knives and try to cut it as gently. Don't mess up the paint. You know, an X-Acto knife can be very sharp. You can see there on my workbench I have several cutting instruments, whatever works the best. And you can see that one has a really small, fine blade on it. And there I go. Well, no, not that one. Let's try some regular scissors. And again, the biggest thing is making sure that you get in tight on it, but don't damage the paint. My dad didn't like a whole bunch of stuff on his truck. He didn't want bumper stickers or any of that stuff on his truck. He wanted to keep it clean and simple. And the fact that the purple and the yellow represents LSU was a statement in itself. He didn't have to have the LSU emblem or the tiger on the side of it, you know. He would have thought that would have been gaudy. So we're going to keep it simple with the striping and the color representing the LSU Tigers. Again, I'm just trying to make sure that curls around the bottom, underneath. So when I put it all back together, it looks nice and clean. There you go. You can see that. I think that looks excellent. Again, I'm just using my fingernail to make sure I get it in tight. Sometimes you'll have some of that adhesive, you know, you got to get off of there. Just be gentle with it. And once I get all of the striping and everything on, I'm going to go ahead and put a clear coat on it so those pinstripes and stuff won't move. So they'll be under the clear coat. Taking your time is the biggest thing. Don't get in a rush. Don't get in a rush. That's when things happen. We get the chrome pin out. I love those things. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the tail lights and the headlights, the fog lights, and the marker lights up front so that it can take on some color. And again, those come in different millimeters, you know. We have thicker ones, but that's the 1 millimeter. And they can be a little expensive, $10 to $12, but you can buy the refillable chrome ink for them. And I've done that before, and it's not very difficult. And what I'll do is I'll come back with either a red paint pen or orange. You can use a Sharpie as well. It works just as good. Whatever you have. And just make sure that you let the chrome dry on there for a couple hours just to make sure, so it doesn't bleed together. Let's see if I can get that to zoom in. Look at there. That is pretty. Look at that purple. It is so deep. Let's remember what we started out with. Black GMC Cyclone. My dad was a GMC man. I know if you guys have been with me a while, you know he loved GMC Sprint, El Caminos, VW vintage VWs. But he loved a good little pickup. And again, this is what we ended up with. You can see the marker lights, the fog lights, the headlights, the pinstriping, the racing stripe across the top of the hood and the cab, tail lights, the exhaust tips, and chrome and the license plate. My dad would have loved to own this one. He passed away about 6 years ago, guys, but he definitely left his mark. Over 90 years on this earth. Remember to check out everybody else's build. Hit the like and the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel. And those of you that have been with me, thank you so much for the support. I apologize for the delay in getting my video out. Life happens. Here's some glamour shots I'm going to leave you guys with. And I'll also leave you a couple of pictures of my dad on the end. Harry, the man, the legend. Had 3 daughters. Definitely made his mark in this world. A kind, gentle, witty man. A diesel mechanic. He could fix anything and taught me everything that I know. Everybody have a great week. And there is Harry, my father. Miss him every day. But never forgot a thing he taught me. Me and my sisters. And for those of you that have never seen me, I'm the one in the gray, the short hair. This is Go Bear's Diecast Workshop, part of the 4 Horsemen. You guys have a great one. Peace out, people.